Rodolfo Avia. We've had updates from Rob Huff after free practice, telling us about the bedding in of brakes in free practice 1, about the power steering problems in free practice 2. He put the car on pole in qualifying and we didn't get an update, but we now have an update. And I thought we wouldn't get an update just because, well, I think my position speaks for itself, rather. But he did bring us an update to say everything was working well, fixed many of the problems, mainly the steering was much better, had a good balance in the car, not managed to practice start as there were too many red flags in practice. So let's hope for the best. VW in position 2 is the old Chinese Touring Car Championship Super Cup cars, around 60 or 70 brake horsepower more than the ones that Rob himself raced when he was racing in China. So one to look out for.
So you've got a mix, haven't you, of TCR and the sort of Chinese version of NGTC regulation. So slightly different spec of car, but they are comparable and will give a good race. As you look there at Lu Zhuchang, the regular in TCR Asia and TCR China, with a 326 racing team Audi RS3 LMS TCR to give it its homologated title. And number 17 is Yang Xiao Wei, who again is a regular TCR Asia driver with the Hyundai Elantra and TCR.
It's row 6 on the grid, and the distinctive Hyundai colouring as we go back one row to number 12, Sonny Wong, who had bad luck and after yesterday in qualifying said, hands up, that was my fault, let's see what we can do in the race.
Yeah, he was in the wall early on in the lap in Q1, so Sonny Wong missed out on Q2, put himself towards the back of the grid, and so he's going to start then 14th and with work to do.
Zhang Baofei in his Hyundai, the number 39 car, is the car of Tian Kai in the QMA Motorsports Audi. A great mix of cars that we have, not only TCR cars, as we said, but also the China Touring Car Championship cars. And the 55 car is Xie Xinjie in the VW. The SAIC the Mando cars. Car number 63 is Lu Wanhu, again in one of the VWs. On goes the helmet. The preparations for racing well and truly underway. 11:40 it is here in Macau on a sunny day, as we have had for the last 2 days, as very often the weather is sunny here in Macau. Maybe slightly tricky as far as humidity is concerned, really humid, and 88% humidity indoors today. And bear in mind, they're going to get very, very warm inside these cars. Number 37, next on the grid, on the final row. That's the car of Zhou Haowen in the Audi. Number 22 is the car of Liao Yang, again an Audi, towards the rear of the field. Very colourful field as ever, and a well-populated grid as well to welcome the first race of the weekend for the MGM Macau Touring Car Cup. Now, it's going to take a brave person to bet against Rob Huff around the Macau gear circuit, but he's already presented us with potentially something that could upset yet another race win around Macau, and that's the fact that there are cars behind that he knows well and that he has competed in the Chinese Touring Car Championship, cars that maybe have a little bit more power.
But equally, if he can get the car off the line well enough, he knows how to defend, and he knows the circuit well enough to know that there are elements where you don't have to defend too strenuously because there just isn't the width for anybody to overtake you, and then play to the strength of your car around this section, as we've seen other people do today, for example, in the GT race, the GT4 race earlier on. So Rob Huff certainly does start as the favourite in the MG, the MG5 X-Power from the SAIC MG group, and another Macau win could be around the corner. It is a, 20-strong grid.
And we've been saying just how good those MGs look.
Yeah,
the livery in the car itself, everything works very nicely indeed.
So the countdown continues. The grid now being cleared. They will get the formation lap as a standing start, one by one staggered grid as you see. And with it being a standing start, pole position is on the other side of the road now. So Rob Huff then on the outside, but with that length advantage over Zhang Tang Yi, who lines up alongside the former Formula Renault racer, who's done a lot of racing over his time, in fact, has Zhang Tang Yi, whether it's been in Chinese touring cars or TCR. He's racing the Ferrari Challenge in Trofeo Maserati, even had a go in A1GP a long, long while ago. Then you've got David Zhu, who came to Europe to race in Formula 2 many seasons ago, the MSV Formula 2 iteration, and was a single-seater racer for many years, Formula BMW in Asia prior to that. Then you've got Jiangzhu Chang, the winner of the last 2 gear races, but electing not to do the gear race, but the Macau Touring Car Cup this year, the reigning TCR Asia champion. So there is Huffy, good to go. And very shortly, we'll have the final few people off the grid, the cars released onto the formation lap. 2 races, as every category gets, but for the touring cars, whether it's this or for the gear race, equal length races. So there's not one, if you like, qualifying and feature race. They are both over 9 laps, and it's the same for the gear race as well.
Rob Huff is spectacular around the gear circuit. When you win the amount of races that he has won around this circuit, it doesn't come without a huge amount of commitment, and he's just thoroughly entertaining to watch around this track. And we've mentioned it a couple of times, but some time ago he mentioned to me after a successful race, he was surprised that he still had wing mirrors, because he doesn't really expect to be far enough away from the barriers and the walls to be left with mirrors at the end of a race. That is how close the commitment is in a touring car in the hands of Rob Huff.
Yeah. And circuits where you need to be brave, he excels. I mean, another highlight of watching Rob was 2 or 3 seasons ago at the Nürburgring on the Nordschleife, and where he could overtake. It was just breathtaking to watch. So, yes, he starts as the favourite, but there are other people to watch in all of this. One of his teammates, for example, Martin Tao, number 7, who we've seen race in the UK in Formula 3 a good few seasons ago. He should be one to watch, starting 7th on the grid. As I say, 14th is Sunny Wong, who won this race back in 2018. So after his dramas yesterday, he will be a man in a big, big hurry. And so now the car's ready to be released. They're all on a Michelin tyre, and now it's an opportunity to get some warmth into the rubber, ready to go racing.
So 9 laps of racing on both days. The engine notes rise, off they go, being led away, and the 71 car doesn't get away. So Zhang Tang Yi remains stricken down there on the outside of the front row of the grid.
Now remember, if everybody goes past before he gets going, he's going to have to start at the back of the grid. If you are the last car away, then you start at the very back. And there's another one in strife as well, is there not? Which looks like Nathan Liu's Audi, or is that Lin Chanqua's car?
Yeah,
Chanqua's 65, that got away and then stopped. So dramas for 2 of them even before the race gets underway.
Yeah, so the important business for the rest of the field of weaving the cars from side to side. This is the best opportunity they get to get heat into the tyres on this wide dual carriageway element of the circuit. The incredibly quick run down through Mandarin and down towards Lisboa, so the field can work at getting heat into the tyres, and meanwhile those 2 stricken cars down on the grid, officials and the driver can work at getting the cars moving. And although they might not start on their respective grid spots, they will get the opportunity to start from the very back of the grid.
So if they can be coached into life, you're right, they can try and start at the back, which therefore does all that good work in qualifying. The cars coming from Lisboa up through that right hand takes them to San Francisco Hill, and there number 17, another one to watch in the course of this race, Yang Xiao Wei with the Hyundai Elantra. He's got a little bit of work to do from his qualifying effort, but of course now it's going to be a slightly different look to the grid.
So that's why we've been looking at the cars further down the field, because the ones at the front of the field have got such pace on that. They've very much broken away, haven't they? I wonder where Rob Huff had gone. There he is, number 79, the distinctive livery MG, and he's been working the car hard to get as much heat into those tyres as he possibly can. Now, the disadvantage about this, he is so far ahead of the rest of the field, he's going to be waiting at the front of the grid for quite some time.
He is, and the Lincoln Co's are in no hurry to join him, are they? So David Zhu, who is going to be next on the grid on the 3rd rank, is going to be letting everybody catch up to him. Then he's not waiting on the grid for too long. Rob Huff now, he's getting the message, so he's quite happy now to back off and try and scoop up the field, but he's still going to have to wait for the last couple of cars to join him. The road, I think, is clear. Just trying to see what happened to Zhang Tangyi's Volkswagen.
And I think now everybody else is beginning to catch up. It's not just 3 cars on their own at the front of the field. We've now got a frame including all 4 of the MGs. Distinctive livery on those cars for the Macau Grand. And Rob Huff has slowed right the way down and is still working those tyres, working the brakes, engine up to temperature as well, weaving the car to form up for a 9-lap race around the gear circuit here at Macau. You can see in the background, normal life continues while we enjoy motorsport, this festival of motorsport over 4 days here at Macau. And one of the supreme experts of Macau is on pole position for this 9-lap MGM Macau Touring Car Cup race. So I think Huffy's not going to have to wait there as long as I once feared. It's still going to be a little while. It's a nice full grid, 20 cars in total. Rob's already there. He's got an empty position alongside on the front row of the grid where Zhang Tangyi was meant to be.
But if you're coming to the grid as a world touring car champion, as a Scandinavian touring car champion, you know what to do on a green flag lap. You'll be aware of the fact that you will be sitting there for some time, so I wouldn't worry too much. I think Rob will have this all under control.
I think you're probably right. Did we see the 71 car? We didn't, did we? I don't think it appeared.
But 65, look, he's trying to get back to par, and that's not
quite
what you meant
right.
to do. No. That should be a penalty, technically, for that, because you're meant to have stayed at the back of the grid. Anyway, we'll let the race director worry about that as we get set to go racing.
And we wait for the lights to come on the gantry. The green flag waved at the back. That means the lights coming on. 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait for them to go out. It's underway. It is underway. And let's see who gets the best of the starts. Fast starting MGs, aren't they? And Rob Huff does lead the field around. It's the number 9 car who is slotting in to 2nd place. And Rob Huff, multiple race winner here at Macau, is going to be defending as they get down towards Lisboa. Through Mandarin they go, now on the run down towards the premier overtaking position around the gear circuit at Lisboa. And certainly from the 2nd row of the grid, David Zhu just puts a nose to one side but doesn't challenge on this occasion. It's Rob Huff that leads.
And what was a good start from the black Lincoln Co of Yen Chang, he's about to lose ground, I fear, heading up San Francisco Hill, because yes, there up alongside him you can see goes a very quick starting Sunny Wang, who is in a big hurry. So Rob Huff leads the way. In 2nd place it is David Zhu. In 3rd place Zhang Shang, the double gear race winner in the last 2 seasons back-to-back. And then in 4th place it is Martin Tao, who's also made a good start in the 2nd of the MGs. But Sunny Wang on a mission already.
And you see, we've been talking about this over the last couple of days. Although this is a very tight, very twisty, very technical part of the circuit, touring cars do have a go at overtaking on this particular section, and it's not really possible in a GT car. It's occasionally possible in a Formula 4 car, but touring cars do have a go. Why are we surprised by that?
Well, indeed. And now those Lincoln Co's trying to get back onto terms with the MG of Rob Huff that leads the way. David Zhu then ahead of the third place Lincoln Co. Zhang Zhujiang at the wheel of it. Martin Tao runs fourth in his MG. Sonny Wong up to fifth, having started 14th on the grid. That is an outstanding opening lap, isn't it, from Sonny Wong? There he goes through the shot. So Sonny Wong working his way forward, and a lot of that was done all the way down to Lisboa.
He is a friend of mine on Facebook, and last night he put his hands up. He apologised for making a mistake and said that he was going to put things right today. And at the moment, by the evidence that we have on the start of the race, that is exactly what he has the intention to do. Look at Rob Huff's intention as well. He's got, as he comes up to complete lap number 1, an advantage, a good gap before we've got David Zhu in second place, who meanwhile has to be looking in his mirrors for another Lincoln Co, because the 19 car of Zhang Junshang is right there as they complete now 1 lap, so we get an idea of what the advantage is after 1 lap. It is 1.3 seconds the advantage for Rob Huff.
And he can stretch that, but again, you saw the way that where it was so narrow that overtaking was so difficult, he could back it off a little bit and then push now on this faster section where there's a little bit more freedom of scope. So he leads the way from David Zhu in second place. In third, it is Zhang Zhujiang. And then Martin Tao, number 7, in fourth place. Down they come towards Lisboa. A dive to the inside line there by Zhang Zhujiang, but he's not going to get past David Zhu. Here comes Martin Tao from fourth up the inside, goes third on the inside line, and he's done it, and delayed out of all of that was Zhang. And so up and past him has gone Sonny Wong. So Sonny Wong 14th to 4th in a lap and a bit.
That was superb. A superb manoeuvre for third place. It was neatly executed. Good driving by both of them, because they could have had a little bit of contact down at Lisboa. They did not. The position change, superb. And also superb driving by Sonny. Absolutely brilliant.
And also, Martin Tao did a very good job, didn't he? As you say, it was a beautifully executed move. So he is forcing his way up from 7th on the grid, and he's already there, as you see, in third place. So it is MG, Lincoln Co, MG, then 2 more Lincoln Co's, and then another MG. They're the dominant brands in the race, as the race leaders come out of the Solitude S's. There is David Zhu with straight away Martin Tao right on his tail now. Sonny Wong under attack from teammate Zhang Zhujiang as they drop down the hill once again, heading towards police.
Isn't it a joy when you get an overtaking manoeuvre in touring cars which is clean and respectful by both of them? That was a joy to watch down at Lisboa. It is the premium overtaking position on the grid, so around the circuit. So it should never really come as a surprise that potentially, if they're running close together on the circuit, that there could be a challenge. But that was great driving. David Zhu at the front of this train, and you just see Rob Huff already turning out of the Macau hairpin and running down to complete now 2 laps at the end of this lap. So the run down towards Fisherman's R Bend, the final turn on the circuit.
And that line for second place is growing, isn't it? David Zhu ahead of Martin Tao. Then you've got this fight between Sonny Wong and Zhang Zhujiang. You've got Yan Shuang in the order. Then there is Gaohua Yang as well. So a long line of cars. And as we keep making the point around the gear circuit, it only takes one little error from a driver to really shuffle the pack. The consequences can be quite severe. Leader goes through then. Rob Huff breaks the beam with an advantage of 1.7 seconds, but Martin Tao in third place has done the fastest lap of the race, and he's breathing down the neck now of David Zhu, so we could be on for a MG 1-2 here. If Martin Tao can line up to have a go at Lisboa like he did a lap ago, then the move could be on.
It was a lovely move last time. What's going to happen this time for second place? He's getting himself in position. He's getting the toe. The two of them absolutely tied together. At some stage, he will jink out. Is that too early? Has a look. He's down on the inside. He snakes under braking. He makes the place, and it sticks around Lisboa. Another place. Thank you very much. Second place on the podium.
Absolutely right. Now, the next MG that's going to try and get up there is a little bit further back in the queue of Rodolfo Avila, but the leaders climb the hill. And so Rob Huff leads this MG 1-2. The Lincoln Co's currently are there in 3rd, 4th, 5th. So the order of them is David Zhu, Sonny Wong, and then Zhang Zhujiang. And there is a 10-second penalty for number 65 for being out of position at the start. Ling Changhua is being given a 10-second penalty. I think I said when he got to the grid that there should be a penalty applied, and the race director and the stewards concur. It goes the way of then Lin Chuan Ha. He should have started at the back of the grid, not take up his rightful grid position for qualifying. Right.
Martin Tower with the fastest lap of the race at 2:36.1, and now into second place. A very good race so far for Martin, and 2 laps complete. They're on lap 3. Rob Huff continues to lead. The advantage 1.7 seconds over David Zhu, who, you're right, is the cork in the bottle for third place now, because there are 3 Lincoln Co's all very, very closely attending each other, and the MG now in second place has been able to put a bit of a break on the Lincoln Co's up towards the Melco hairpin. You can see the fluid absorbing material that's been put down to deal with fluid that has been dropped on the Melco hairpin, and as they accelerate down, they are about to complete now 3 laps, 79. Rob Huff, is he going to add to this extraordinary tally of race wins at Macau?
Right now, you would say yes, wouldn't you? As there you look at the Lincoln Co fight, David Zhu ahead of Sunny Wong, ahead of Zhang Zhang, who is not very happy about being dropped in that little pack, so he's fighting back against Sunny Wong. Behind them, you've got the next MG, 6th of Zhang Zhendong. So the gap between the MGs is a second and a half as Martin Tao goes yet quicker. 2:35.4 now, and Huffy's lap was a 2:36.2. So number 7 MG in second place, Martin Tao going much better. There is David Zhu in third place, and once more, pulling out to have a look, Zhang Zhang tries to unsettle Sunny Wong. Zhang Zhendong is behind them as they make the run down once again towards Lisboa. This is lap number 4 out of the 9.
Into Lisboa turns Martin Tao, and for the last couple of laps he's made up positions down there. He's not defending nor attacking this time, so picks the optimum line through Lisboa. 3 Lincoln Co's. The battle between those is interesting to watch, isn't it? Because the gap is waxing and waning between the 3 of them. One moment Sunny Wong is defending, the next moment he's attacking. They're in the tight and twisty section, the very technical, demanding part of the circuit, but thus far everyone keeping it very neat and tidy in this first race of the weekend for the MGM Macau Touring Car Cup, which in itself is a joy to see. Sometimes touring car races around the gear circuit can be a little bit bruising. So far, very, very good indeed.
It might get bruising yet for 4, because Sunny Wong is under big attack from Zhang Zhang once again, his teammate behind him. As those 2 cars run towards us, but it's interesting to look at this lead gap, isn't it? Rob Huff perhaps feeling confident that he can back his pace off a little bit, but he's certainly being reeled in by teammate Martin Tao. Now, are there team orders? Is Martin Tao going to be able to attack Huffy, or is he just going to have to sit there and protect the race leader? Is it going to be a proper fight between the pair? Well, we'll wait and see, but certainly the gap has come down and down and down, and Martin Tao from 7th on the grid has been one of the stars of the race.
Well, so far on Thursday when we had free practice sessions, on Friday when we had qualifying sessions, with the MGs it's always been that Rob was the leader when they're out on track as far as position is concerned. We are now racing, so there is no necessity, I would imagine, for Rob to necessarily be the leading of the MGs, and as you say, Martin Tao very quick in race pace. He's got the fastest lap of the race. Rob has responded, hasn't he? Because he has broken away a little bit from the number 7 car, and he did so in fine order. Fastest lap of the race goes the way of Huffy at 2:35.2.
Tao's got a problem because all of a sudden he slows, look, and so past him goes David Zhu, past him goes Sunny Wong, past him will go Zhang Zhang as well. So Martin Tao, after a great start to the race, drops back into 5th place, and he has got a problem.
Or has he? Looks to be up to speed now. Was it just a momentary problem, I wonder, because he slots in behind the Lincoln Co's. Okay, he was competing for second place and potentially the lead of the race, but the car seems to, oh, that did look a bit slow, didn't it, coming out of Lisboa. Keep an eye on that.
He's not staying with them.
No, he's not. No. So there is some kind of a problem. I just wonder if there was a question of a momentary problem in the MG, but it's falling right back now, isn't it?
It might be something electrical, which was a glitch, but there is clearly an issue because he's not catching up, he's not staying with them. But right now, number 19, Zhang is closing all the while onto the back of Sunny Wong. That could get end in tears. Just look how close they are now for third place. Last place on the podium here being disputed. Sunny Wong, another of the heroes of the race, up from 14th on the grid, don't forget.
Absolutely superb so far, and looking fairly challenging as well. Yeah, you're right, it could end in tears between the three Lincoln Co's as we watch them come through. They are on Sunny now having to defend going into police. To put a wheel wrong at any point on the circuit, and I say that MG are going to be pretty happy with the way this race has gone so far, because the MG of Rob Huff that leads the race is out of view. The advantage at the front of the field at the end of lap 4 was 2.1 seconds for Rob Huff, and you can see him there now turning down from the Melco hairpin towards Fisherman's Arbend, the final turn on the circuit, and the completion of 5 laps, which will mean they are well and truly into the second half of the race.
Now Martin Tao down in that 5th place, still charging along as best he can. He doesn't look that far away from the Lincoln Co's now, but it's hard to gauge whether that's because the car is performing again, or whether because the Lincoln Co's are holding each other up by scrapping, that's enabled him to draw a little bit nearer. Rob Huff has done the 5th lap. He's broken the bead now. The margin that he's got over David Zhu is 3.8 seconds. So this is Rob Huff's race to lose now. David Zhu is 2nd, Sunny Wong is 3rd, Zhang is in 4th place, 5th is Martin Tao, but for how much longer? Because now, right there, about to have a go against him, look, is Zhang Zhendong, and behind the pair of them, the black Lincoln coat of Yan Trang.
Yeah, that looked to be something that could potentially have got a little bit too close on that occasion, and now they are on the run down towards Lisboa. There's going to be a change, is there, for 3rd position? Not quite. Good respect between them all as they turn through the right-hander at Lisboa. That's good to see. I think the team down in pit lane can breathe again, because that was a bit of a moment.
Yes, the good news is they're professional drivers, so they know not to take off your teammate. Martin Tao versus his teammate, Zhang Zhendong. That battle goes on between the two MG drivers, and then in 7th place, Yan Trang ahead of then Rodolfo Avila in another of the MGs in 8th place. You can see the two MGs absolutely together, but it is still just Tao ahead of Zhang. There are the Lincoln Co's with still the frustrated Zhang unable to find a way up past Sunny Wong, who in turn, because he's defending, can't really go after David Zhu.
It's a very professional race, this, from the touring cars, the MGM Macau Touring Car Cup and the Chinese Touring Car Cup as well. They are equipping themselves very nicely around the gear circuit. Good, close and respectful racing. David Zhu has broken away a little bit, and that is maybe not surprising, because this battle for the final position on the podium is getting very, very close indeed.
And the MG of Martin Tao is closing back up again as Sunny Wong locks up on the braking for Donna Maria.
That was quite a lock-up as well.
It was, yeah, and it's dropped him even more time from David Zhu. Look at the battle pack now, though, for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. All in the queue, down to the Melco hairpin.
Not the easiest thing to turn out of that corner when you're at race pace, and all of them fairly close in that group coming out of the hairpin. No overtaking through Melco, but all of them fairly close on the exit to the barrier. Inch perfect to avoid it. And that's Rob Huff just going out of view. David Zhu in 2nd place, and Sunny Wong in car number 12 up into 3rd place from 14th on the grid. Kept his promise, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do the best tomorrow, make up for it.
He's not done yet either. Let's see what else he can do to close on David Zhu. Over the timing line, Rob Huff's advantage has gone up again, 3.6 seconds, and he is now on to lap 7 out of the 9. In 2nd place is David Zhu. And of course, many of them are thinking not only about this race result, but also points for the Chinese Touring Car Championship. 3rd and 4th, Sunny Wong versus Zhang. Is Zhang close enough to make a move down to Lisboa? He's about a length too far back, but he thinks about the inside line, tries to unsettle Sunny Wong, keeps on coming like he did a lap ago, but there's never really a proper opportunity, and that means that Sunny Wong hangs on to 3rd place.
And with a little bit of bodywork flapping on the back of the car, so it is getting quite close between the two of them, but through Lisboa, they always seem to be pretty respectful, don't they, room going into the corner. Will it remain that to the end of the race? Potentially not, because they are incredibly close. The two MGs have got a great view of this final podium position battle. And what news of Martin Tao, because he's still there in 5th place. The car seems to still have good pace because he's on the back of this battle for 3rd place, essentially, now with 2 Lincoln Co's and 2 MGs. So maybe Martin's car is back up to pace. What was the last lap? It was a 2:35.4. Is the best lap, personal best for Martin Tao. The last one was a 2:35.6, so only a couple of cents down on the personal best for Martin Tao.
Bear in mind that those Lincoln Co's have been largely racing in TCR Asia this year. I just wonder whether it was some sort of team decision to say, OK, look, let all those cars that you're not fighting with in the championship go and maximise the points on offer to you, or it may have been a problem that being able to drive round, but the car did seem to lose pace. But now it's caught back up to the Lincoln Co's, as we've been describing. He's got there right up behind him still, teammate Zhang Dong. The lead gap last time was 3.6 seconds, Rob Huff to David Zhu, and down they come towards the completion of the lap. So Rob Huff is getting ever closer now. He's only really 2 laps away from yet another Macau win. There is the fight still between Sunny Wong, winner of this race back in 2018 and last year, and the 2020 gear race winner here, Zhang. So they are both specialists of the circuits. Might not have quite the Huff win rate, but they're pretty impressive in their own right.
And a best lap of the race for our race leader, 2:35.2. The last lap for Rob Huff was a 2:36.0. The advantage stayed pretty much the same as it was on the previous lap, just extended a little bit between Rob Huff and David Zhu in 2nd place. 3.7 seconds. Are we going to have another look for 3rd place? No, not quite, because Zhang Chang slots in behind once again. And Sunny Wong maintains that final podium position. Here they go, down towards Lisboa. Still Sunny Wong just with the advantage. And is it going to be a last-minute jink to the inside? No, not quite. Has a look at San Francisco, but Sunny Wong has got that covered. And maybe up San Francisco Hill. Wow, that would be impressive. No, slots in behind. Great battle between these two. Sunny Wong looks pretty determined to me.
You're not wrong. He very nearly made it stick there, didn't he? Didn't quite get the drive off the corner. And what that has done is bring Martin Tao back into contention again. So the Lincoln Co's absolutely nose to tail. Their battle enabling the MGs to close back up. It's also giving David Zhu the chance to escape for a very lonely 2nd place. And there, Zhang's car using more of the road, more commitment being put in. He is determined to get back past Sunny Wong, but he's also got to try and repel the challenge of then Martin Tao behind him.
So 4, they couldn't be closer, could they, on this particular part of the circuit where it's really tight, really twisty. The walls beckon you in, the guardrails, the barriers around the circuit beckon you in. This is a tricky corner through police and then onto Moorish Hill as well. There'll be line astern as they go through here, up towards the Donna Maria left-hander, down towards the Melco hairpin. This is Donna Maria, long left-hander. Around they go, 4 as 1. 2 Lincoln Co's, 2 MGs into the Melco hairpin. No overtaking here. However, a good exit from the corner can set you up for a very quick final sector and a good opening to the 2nd lap, which in turn gives you the momentum down towards Lisboa. At the moment, David Zhu has a little bit of clear track behind because they're so busy battling for the final place on the podium, and a gap in front as well because Rob Huff 3.7 seconds advantage at the front of the field. Must be quite difficult for somebody like Huffy though to come into the gear circuit, a circuit that he has done so well on over the years, because there are so many expectations, aren't there?
Yeah, true. But he's able to cope with all of them and helping to progress that MG. Change there between the MGs, look, because finally Zhang Zhendong goes ahead of Martin Tao. So once more it suggests that Martin does have a problem. Huff leads, David Zhu is a lonely 2nd. And 3rd, well, once again, Zhang thinks about making a move against Sunny Wong, who covers off the inside line. Zhang closes under braking. He needs to get a tight line out of the corner. He almost did it a lap ago up San Francisco Hill. And up the escape road there goes Yan Trang. So that was out of 7th place.
Oh dear, oh dear. And that was the final opportunity, really, down at Lisboa. This is the final lap. So at the moment, Sonny Wong has that coveted final position on the podium, but he can't afford to put a wheel wrong, can he? The MG a little bit further back now, and the two of the Lincoln Co's are battling together.
You're right, but look, it's MG singular, because having lost the place, Martin Towers dropped a long way back again, suggesting that the car does have a problem.
Yep, and the problem has manifested itself again, hasn't it? Because now, not in vision, a quartet of cars becomes a trio on the final lap. Rob Huff, meanwhile, the gap had come down just by 1/10 of a second between himself and David Dew in 2nd place on that last lap. 3.6 seconds the advantage. It only needs to be 1/10 of a second, doesn't it? Oh dear, that's big. There's a lick of flame from the right front of the 65 car of Lin Changhua in the Audi.
So he's already got his penalty for being out of position at the start. Now he's at the wall, as there you can see Sonny Wong with Zhang Zhang behind him, and they have been caught very quickly indeed by the now 5th place MG of Zhang Dong. So it goes to show that when you've got clear track ahead of you, you've got much better pace than when you're in a battle. Rob Huff is heading towards a checkered flag, but behind, the battle is still raging on for 3rd, 4th and 5th.
It certainly is, and the back of Sonny Wong's car is looking more and more bits sort of hanging off. It's not badly damaged, but Rob Huff is on his way to the checkered flag, and another win at Macau. Absolutely superb. He is a master at Macau. Number 79, Rob Huff from Great Britain, comes through the final turn up towards the checkered flag. There it is, and another one in the book for Huffy. Number 79, Rob Huff in the MG, wins yet another race here at Macau. We reckon that's 12 race wins at Macau for Rob Huff, and a superb example.
But it was very close for 3rd, wasn't it, coming over the line? Sonny Wong and Zhang Zhang very nearly dead heating, 1/10 of a second between them. And there, with lots of flame coming out of it, is an Audi that I don't think you're going to see tomorrow, looking at the damage to that car and the fact that it is still burning. Nobody's been able to get near it yet. So that car of then Lin Changhua smouldering away, burning under the bonnet. So it's had an impact, it's caused a fire, but the marshals, for the moment, unable to get to it. Now let's have a look. Oh, he just arrived far too quickly. Ooh. Wow, that's a massive hit, totally airborne, and then it hits the barrier again. The fire's already started. But that was a massive hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, when we first saw the car, it had gone down to just a lick of flame, didn't it? Just on the right front of the car, but instant flame, yeah, big hit. And we're very grateful the car is still on 4 wheels when it came down to land, because it was made airborne.
You see the red flag is there to get people to slow down even more, so that the marshals can get onto the circuit to get to that flame. But a very happy Huff wins the race, being congratulated by teammate from 5th place, Zhang Dong.
He just adds to the book of memories. Oh dear, that's something so disappointing to see, isn't it? And finally, I think the marshals can get there. It's just been in a really tricky place to deal. You can see the extinguisher being used. That's going to make visibility coming around that corner a bit tricky.
Hence the red flag again, just to slow people down. Yeah, you're right.
And the green flag just indicating they are past the incident. They can see the incident. That's never good to see, is it?
No. I'm just trying to work out whether, again, that was a driver error or some sort of failure that pitched the car off, because it seemed to arrive at such a high speed for the corner.
It did, yeah.
Late in the race, you would not necessarily expect that from a driver that's done so many laps around here. Anyway, Rob Huff, the race winner from David Dew by very nearly 4 seconds in the end, 3.9 seconds the margin. And then Sonny Wong hung on to 3rd place by 1/10 from Zhang Zhang. Then you had Zhang Dong just ahead of Martin Tao, who in turn was only 1/10 ahead of Rodolfo Avila. So the next 2 MGs very, very close at the end of the race as well.
In the scrapbook of memories for Rob Huff at Macau, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. He claimed his World Touring Car Championship title here at Macau. He's won multiple races around the streets of Macau. And now he's done it in an MG. number 79, and really looking forward to seeing him get out the car in Parc Ferme and see the trademark broad smile on his face as he will celebrate yet another win at Macau.
And MG, as a brand, has quite an important part in the Huff story, because it was in an MGB Roadster that Rob started racing, and still occasionally dabbles in MG events. Although he went on to race Formula Vauxhall Junior and then in the SEAT Championship, which he won to get his British Touring Car Championship prize drive, when the opportunity allows, he still appears in the family MGB. And so in a very different sort of MG, yet another victory at Macau goes to Rob Huff.
Yeah, really pleased for him. He's had superb support from his family, his network of supports, and his father, Peter. I don't know if Peter's here this weekend. I'm sure if he could be, he would be. And he has been ever present in Huff's career. In fact, I remember at a point early on in Rob's career, I'm sure he won't mind me saying, that Peter sort of was chatting to me in the paddock, and he said, "This is an unusual year. I think my son is going to earn more money than me this year." So, life moments, eh?
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, and to be very proud, Peter, watching on, that is for sure. So Rob Huff, who has won the independence category within the World TCR Championship, the WTCR Cup this year, makes his way into Parc Ferme. He couldn't complete the championship. Of course, they're racing this weekend in the Middle East, but for budgetary dramas, so Rob had to stand down from that championship and instead found a very happy berth here at Macau, and another race win goes his way.
So he brings the MG to a stop down in Parc Ferme. We will have a podium for the MGM Macau Touring Car Cup and China Touring Car Championship. The door open, the engine off. Here he comes, not for the first time, as he gives a little playful pat and a thank you to the MG. And Rob Huff wins again at Macau.
Very happy team, as the scrutineers want Rob to go to the weighing area. He congratulates his teammate Sonny Wong. Great job down after his crash in qualifying, but up to third place. Excellent job. Rob Huff then makes his way to the scales.
It's interesting, you know, when you get out of the car in Parc Ferme. Of course, a few people are allowed in Parc Ferme. You have to have an official reason to be there. So you get out the car, you're elated, you want to celebrate. There's only maybe one or two members of the team to have a moment with, but the real celebration is as they walk from Parc Ferme to the podium, because that's the really very alive part of the Macau Grand Prix weekend. People throughout the weekend hoping to get a photograph or an autograph, and now that Rob has been weighed, he can enjoy the moment with the team, take a few high fives. The rest of the podium drivers, including David Zhu, second, queue up for the obligatory weighing.
Yes, what you were saying about limited people being allowed towards Parc Ferme. Remember the DTM race that Matthias Ekström won, and his father, in his congratulations, poured water into his pocket, and that broke a Parc Ferme regulation, and he was excluded
really?
from the win.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. And even more ludicrously, nobody was awarded the win.
Wow.
So instead of promoting the second place car, there was no race winner, but there was a second.
Because there was no provision in the regulations for water in the pocket.
Precisely. Something like that, anyway. Well, there's a happy Rob Huff who wants his sunnies and a mask and a drinks bottle and everything else that a racing driver needs.
It's hot. It's always hot at Macau, and a high of, I think, 26 degrees by memory today. A couple of degrees lower than yesterday, but it makes no difference when you're inside a touring car. They get incredibly hot, and rehydrating is very much on Huffy's mind as he makes his way over towards the podium, and that will be coming up very shortly. The top three drivers will appear on the podium, after we've had a review of a very clean race for the MG Macau Touring Car Cup. The celebrations continue down in Parc Fermé ahead of the podium presentation and of the result. A win in the MG5 X-Power TCR car, 9 laps completed by Rob Huff, number 79. Another win at Macau. David Zhu in second place. Sonny Wong from 14th on the grid takes the final podium position. Super racing, good overtaking manoeuvres, clean overtaking manoeuvres, and a race without interruption right until the very end, when rather naturally with a car unfortunately having a fire, the red flag came out after the checkered flag in order to slow everybody down. But a super race for the MGM Macau Touring Car Cup, and there'll be quite a few highlights to look back on, quite a few potential and completed overtaking manoeuvres at Lisboa. Let's have highlights. And a few highlights that we didn't see during the course of the race. There was some pretty exceptional drifting going on. Yes. That's very impressive indeed.
Some
and we're ready.
Saves as well.
Some really good saves. Great skills during the MGM Macau Touring Car Cup. And we're getting the glamorous podium ready for our third podium presentation of the day. We're ready for the drivers to be introduced to the crowd, and of course we'll have all of the photographers on the far side of the pit lane ready to welcome 3 drivers onto the podium. A great drive for our third place driver, Sonny Wong, onto the podium. That makes up for yesterday, doesn't it? And onto the third step of the podium. Second place, for a little while it became quite a lonely race. Got himself into second place, did David Zhu, and they were battling behind. Gets a helping hand from Sonny Wong onto the second step of the podium. And then
number 79, Robert Peter
yet another win for Rob Huff onto the podium. Waves to the crowd. He is a master at Macau. A handshake with Sonny Wong and David Zhu as well, who rather genteelly helps him onto the top step of the podium, and then the trophy presentation. First of all, Dr. Iwan Dici, Senior Vice President of Hospitality for MGM, to present the third place trophy to Sonny Wong, and the garland, the podium garland in place, and the silver trophy for third place with a handshake and congratulations. And Sonny Wong can be very happy with that result. And Dr. Iwan Dici congratulates both of the other drivers. And then we welcome Dr. Tian Han, Mr. Tian Han, Senior Vice President of Strategic Marketing of MGM, onto the podium to present David Zhu with the garland and the trophy as well. Even though they've got face masks on, you can see the eyes are smiling, aren't they? Very happy to be on the podium. And then Mr. Sean Lanny, the Senior Vice President of International Marketing for MGM, presents Rob Huff with yet another Macau garland and winner's trophy. Super stuff for the MGM Macau Touring Car Cup.
And then everybody poses for the photographs. Drivers on the top with the trophies aloft, dignitaries in front, and the podium ceremony complete with yet another one for the record books for Rob Huff, who takes honours in our first MGM Macau Touring Car Cup race of the weekend, the first of 2 point-scoring races within the China Touring Car
Congratulations
Championship.
again, and that was our.
And as the drivers and the dignitaries make their way off the podium, I'm probably going to set a timer now.